Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakata Mahyam Tatanti Swakatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Repunata Nitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sapatam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Patan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishada Vinamsha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopi Kanda Radha Kanda Namosude Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavani Shri Vishapana Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Pancha Kalpataru Vaishya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Paditana Papanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhudale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Dinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Yeah, so the open book assessment normally it's like for 1 week time, so we'll just extend it for some more time because some were traveling and all. So at 1 more week, okay, next Thursday evening we are closing it. So and then it has to be assessed. Okay, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that is Prabhupada's guru is Gaura Kishora Das Babaji. Okay, so he is the Param Guru of Srila Prabhupada. So definitely we should know much about him. Little bit, because it's disappearance day, we should glorify the Vaishnavas. When we glorify, we get a lot of mercy from them. So this disappearance means they're all manjaris. So definitely they've come to spread Krishna consciousness. But he was a bhajananandi. He was not a goshtanandi. So in the sense, he didn't go preaching. He was this chanting, 24 hours chanting. And he was vairagi, like very much renounced. Like you can see, he was such very humble, very renounced. 6 months he used to stay in Vrindavan, 6 months in Mayapur. That's how he used to stay. And always chanting the holy name. Even though he is illiterate, in the sense he couldn't even sign his signature, put his signature. So much illiterate he was. But still, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who's a great scholar, Lion Guru, great scholar, with a lot of degrees, he took Diksha from Gaura Kishora Das Babaji. He's the only disciple of Gaura Kishora Das Babaji. He said, I will never initiate anybody. He thought he is not qualified for that. That's how a Vaishnava think. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Prabhupada's guru, begged him so many times. And his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, said, you have to take Diksha from Gaura Kishora Das Babaji. Gaura Kishora Das Babaji is not the Diksha disciple of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's a Shiksha disciple, it's Shiksha connection. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati every day used to meet Gaura Kishora Das Babaji and say, please initiate me. And he never used to initiate. He says, let me ask Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then get back to you tomorrow. And then he postponed, because he thought, how can I initiate such an educated person? But then that education is not for the material things, right? Even though he chants, so much he was chanting, even though he don't know to read Shastras, he used to always talk about Lord and so much philosophy. So finally, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati threatened him, I'll suicide if you don't initiate me. And finally, he initiated Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And he used to go to the public toilets to chant the holy name. Just imagine, because he's a Babaji, and Bhajananandi means he always chant. And so many criticized Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. You are preaching, you established 64 madhas, and your guru, he's just chanting. He's not preaching. Why? So he said, my guru is the powerhouse, and I'm just the connection, the electricity. Okay, so then what happened? Okay, so then what happened? People used to go to him, materialistic people, for all material things. We want that, we want money, we want children. And he was like feeling so disgusted, he could not do his japa. So he used to go to the public toilets and hide himself inside that. He says the material contamination is so bad than the smell in the toilet. So he used to sit in the public toilets and chant the holy name. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says, I would have never taken initiation from Gaura Kishora Das Babaji if I see him a minute being wasted. So he's like Avyartha Kalatam. a devotee in a bhava stage always checks that his time is not wasted. And Gaurashishwara Das Babaji was such a renounced person. He used to just take madhukari from somewhere, just eat whatever is needed just to maintain his body. And then he used to always chant the holy name. And he was actually praying for his disciple, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati became the lion guru just because of his guru. So all glories to Gaurakisha Das Babaji. So it's the day today that they wind up the material pastime and they went back to Krishna's world for the eternal pastime. So that's also glorious. Disappearance of Vaishnavas are also glorious. And when we speak about them, at least hear about them for 5-10 minutes on the appearance and disappearance day, we get the mercy. So we pray, all of us, to Gaurakisha Das Babaji to give us some taste, which he had. He had so much taste, but then at least 1% of that taste for the holy name, so that we can also chant the holy name every day. Okay, so today we'll so karma yoga we continue. So we have finished till sloka 21. I'll take up 22 now. Okay, so about the karma, the law of karma, how does the law of karma works? How does the law of karma works in a nutshell? Can someone explain? What's the law of karma, or how does it actually work on us? Last week we were discussing about that. Yes, Suma Mataji.
No, Mataji, it's like Newton's third law. You said, Mataji, like whatever we do, any action, but if it is good, we get the good results. The same way, if we do bad, we get the bad results, Mataji. And the karmas that we offer to, the fruits of the karma that we offer to Lord Krishna, the benefits will be nullified. Like it will be a roasted seed, so it will not produce any effects.
That's akarma, right? Akarma, whatever. So it doesn't mean that we can do sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name. That's an offense, right, to the holy name. To commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name. Oh, I'm chanting Hare Krishna every day, I can do whatever sin I want. No, that's not the right thing. That's like more aparad. It's like nama aparad, doing sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name. Even that should not be done. So once till we came to Krishna consciousness, whatever sin we have done, Krishna will take care. But even after coming to Krishna consciousness, even after chanting the holy name, still continuing sinful activities, that's like offense. We are offending the gurus, we are offending the nama, we are offending Srila Prabhupada. So that should not be done. Once we come to Krishna consciousness, we should stop all our sinful activities. That's why all the 4 regulative principles, you might feel, why so many regulations in ISKCON? Now, one of my friend is in another institution, I mean, in another this thing. So she already took Diksha. I was like, you took Diksha? Yes. And then you're taking non-veg? Yes. I'm like, what Diksha is this? I mean, that is sinful activities, meat eating, and then you continue chanting the mantra. So for them, it was like, Diksha is like the guru gives the mantra and just chant the mantra. No regulations, nothing to be followed. Then how will that mantra work? No, unless we are purified, the mantra doesn't work on us. The mercy component, the meat eating mainly for the mercy component, no. So not only that, for the sattva gun and all that, and as Krishna said, that's the greatest sin which we can ever do. So till now, whatever we have done, till coming to Krishna consciousness, whatever we have done, that's already taken care. But even after coming to Krishna consciousness, even after understanding all this, we should not repeat our sin. Then roasting of the seed doesn't happen. Okay, so that we saw. And we also saw the dominus effect. What was this? What did I compare this to? You can raise a digital hand. What is this? Like, this is compared to something else, something in our life, in karma. All forgot. I put some images so that you remember. Yes, Akshay Prabhu.
It's related to the downfall of self, ma'am. Self downfall.
When compared to karma, what is it compared to karma, Prabhu? That's what I want to know.
If you do good, you'll get good, ma'am. That's my advantage.
Yes, that is true, but related to the dominus effect. See, one brick falls, everything falls. So nobody remembers. Oh, yes, Adish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. If one sinful activity, the whole punya will go. like one
No.
sinful activity, like that can like lead to downfall.
Yeah, almost, but no. Array, I'm so upset about this. When I show the pictures, at least I thought you'll remember. Yes, Jyoti Lakshmi Mataji, please tell.
Mataji, is that you are telling even if one of the senses is uncontrolled, all the other senses will also be, I mean, it's enough to pull you down.
How is it related to karma? How is okay? One more clue. How is it related to punarjanma? This dominus effect. That someone can explain? Yes, Suma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, but whatever the karmas that we do this in this janma, that will be carried over to the next janma, Mataji. So the same way, so it'll keep on adding. So if at all some good karmas in this, so we will get some kind of reduction in our this thing. That is what.
What I basically meant is, like, see, you did this is your first brick is your first janma. So in first janma you did some punya and papa. To enjoy the punya or to suffer the papa, you take a rebirth again. Now in that rebirth, when you're enjoying your karma or suffering, still you do one more karma, some more karma, and then again the reaction, again you take punarjanma, again you take punarjanma. Okay, it's like continuous. The dominus effect is like when one brick falls, the whole thing falls. So similarly, these reactions or the karma is like continuous chain, and the reactions of the first janma can come in your 50th janma, like Dhritarashtra, or he killed all the 100 eggs of the bird, and then after 50 janma his 100 sons died, right? So yesterday I was reading, it says in Bhagavatam that Dhritarashtra also had one more wife, and there's one more son in that wife, and all the Kauravas, I mean from Gandhari, they all died, but this one son, he fought on the side of Pandavas, and he was alive, it seems. So he didn't die, but the other karma came back to him. So this is like karma. Okay, one karma you do, and if you do only punya, still you have to take rebirth and you enjoy the punya. When you're enjoying the punya, still you do some karma and again reaction. So it's like a cyclic form, and also like a boomerang. How much ever far you throw, the reaction just comes back to you. Okay, so this is how we stopped last week's session, that how you are treated, it's their karma, and how you react is our karma. Okay, so this I was explaining how the cycle of sinful life. Does someone remember? Does anyone remember this? With what does the sin starts with? Okay, I'll give a clue. Now, first with avidya. So there's avidya, those who have done nectar of devotion knows it. Yes, Sunita Aravind Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. First of all, we due to ignorance, avidya, we tend to commit mistakes. We accumulate sin, and then again
that stage is called what? That desire to do the sin.
Aprarabdha.
Desire to do. Desire.
Okay,
it's in a form of seed.
Okay, when we don't get any result from that, then again the tendency will be more to commit again sinful activities, and then that is kutam.
Yeah, before kutam, what was the stage?
Aprarabdha.
No. Before that, somebody put in the chat. Who is this? Chitra Mataji. What was that stage? Yes, Mataji.
Mute. Bija Mataji.
Very good.
Avidya.
Bija. Yes, bija means sinful desire. Because of avidya or ignorance, we have a desire to do the sin. That's called bija. And then next stage is, as Sunita Mataji said, there is papam or sinful actions. We do sin, and once we do the sin, there is aprarabdha, unmanifested reactions. Then you feel like doing the sin again and again. That's called kuta, sinful disposition. This cycle repeats, and then in between there is prarabdha or manifested reaction, and then there is klesha or suffering. Now, for example, just imagine I want to become rich, so I'm in ignorance. I don't know how to become rich, but then I think about some bad way, like my desire is there to do the sin, like robbing a bank. So I feel like robbing a bank. That's called bija, the desire. Once I have desire, I do the sin. I rob the bank. That is called papa. And once I rob the bank, sometimes I'm not arrested. That is called unmanifested reaction, aprarabdha stage. So once I'm not caught by the police, I feel like doing the sin again and again. I feel like robbing any more banks. So that's kuta. That's a sinful disposition. I feel like doing the sin again and again. The cycle repeats. But once in a way, I get caught by the police. That is prarabdha or manifested reaction. I get the reaction. Then I'm put in the jail. That's suffering. You understood? So That's how this is again the karma, how the karma works. So you need to cut the cycle at the stage of avidya itself. That's why we have spiritual education, so that we don't have the desire to do sinful activities. So we'll start with today's sloka. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu logeshu kinjana nana vaptam avaptavyam varta eva cha karmani. O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary system, nor am I want of anything, nor I have need to obtain anything, yet I'm engaged in prescribed duties. Krishna don't have to do any work, no. Nachasta karyam karanam cha vidyate. There's a story of a German devotee. He went to all the different temples in India, and he went to Kali temple. He saw Mother Kali with the sword and everything, and everywhere where he went, there was somebody with gada, somebody with plow. Balram was with plow. So many were having all the weapons, and Krishna was with the flute, just dancing with Radharani. He was enjoying them. So the devotee, that person, went to Srila Prabhupada and said, now I know Krishna is God. And Prabhupada's like, what made you think like that? So he's like, whichever temple I went, everybody were involved in some kind of work, something they were doing. But Krishna was not doing anything. I mean, God doesn't have to really do anything, because why? Prabhupada explains in the purport. That's very nice. One who must receive the results of work has some designated duty, but one who have nothing to achieve within the three planetary systems certainly have no duty. Krishna is full in full. Right? All six opulences are full in him. Why are we working? We need money. But Krishna is having all wealth, all richness, all beauty, all knowledge. So he don't have to really work. In the sense, he become the chariot driver of Arjuna. He does become wash the lotus feet of Sudama. But that doesn't mean Krishna is entangled like us. No, Krishna has a prescribed duty or something like that. No, just because Krishna was born to Vasudeva doesn't make him a Kshatriya. Just because he was grazing the cow, it doesn't make him a Vaishya. Right? He's transcendental. He's above the three modes. So it is said, Natastya karyam karanam cha vidyate. That means the Supreme Lord have nothing to do, actually, no duty to be done, because he is the creator. He is the enjoyer. He's the supreme enjoyer, the supreme sacrificer, right? So that's the German devotee who actually went and told Prabhupada that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He's not bound by any karma. He's not bound by any karma. He doesn't take birth like us. He doesn't is not pushed by the material nature. He can choose his parents. He comes in his own sweet will. Right? Prabhupada mentions that Krishna appears on his own sweet will. He doesn't have anything to do. Yadi hi aham na varteyam jatu karmani atantriya mama vartmana vartande manushya partha sarvashaha. For if I ever fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties of Partha, certainly all men would follow my path. So if Krishna failed to engage duty, then everyone will say what? You can see here. Right, how people follow it. The previous sloka, 21st sloka, anybody remembers? What was it? I think you have to memorize that sloka. So somebody should put on the group, okay? The National Prabhu just remind me the slokas to memorize, because you'll have a sloka memorization exam after 6 chapters. So like 1.1, 2.7, 2.13, like that. There are some slokas which you have to memorize. Yes, Jyoti Lakshmi Mataji.
यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठः तत्तदेवेतरो जनाः यत् प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते.
Very nice. So whatever a great man do, the common man will follow, right? So that's what Krishna mentioned. So that's why Krishna told Arjuna, you have to fight. Otherwise, whoever have come with you to do the battle, they'll also run off if you run. And Krishna, being coming as the supreme personality of Godhead, even in the human form, he has to do his karma, do what duty. Otherwise, common people will follow. I mean, they will insult him, or in the sense, why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Gaya to do the last rituals of his father, Jagannath Mishra? He didn't have to do. He's a supreme personality of Godhead. When Lord Ram, did the final rites for Jatayu. Why are they doing this? They are the Supreme Lord. Why are they accepting a spiritual master? They don't have to. But then, because Krishna says that people will follow him, Manushya Partha Sarvashaha, so they will start following his path, great personalities, and they should not criticize the Supreme Lord. Okay, that's why Krishna performed his duty carefully. But we can't imitate. Prabhupada writes there, we can't imitate. Like Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, doesn't mean we can imitate. It is Anukaran and Anucharan. Okay, what is Anukaran, Anucharan? Does anyone know? One is Anukaran, one is Anucharan. Ipenaja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Anukaran, it means imitation. Anucharan means it's following the footsteps or following the same.
Very
process.
good. Yeah, so we should do what? Anucharan, right? Not Anukaran. Just because Haridas Thakur chanted so many 192 rounds, it doesn't mean 193 rounds. It doesn't mean we also sit in some place and do that. No, we can follow Mahajanena Gatasya Panta. We can follow the footsteps, but not copy them. I mean, we can take inspiration from them, but not copy them. Utsidheyur imeloka nakuryam karma chedaham sankarshasya Chakartasyam upahanyam ima praja. If I did not perform prescribed duties, all these world will put into ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population. I would therefore destroy the peace of all living beings. That means Varna Shankara. So Krishna says here, if I didn't perform my duties, then everyone will be like unwanted population will grow. The Lord is the father of all living entities, and if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to the Lord. Therefore, whenever there is general disregard of regulative principles, Lord himself will descend and correct the society. We should, however, note carefully that although we have to follow in the footsteps of the Lord, we still have to remember we cannot imitate him. Following and imitating are not on the same level. As Mother said, there's Anukaran and Anucharan. Both are different. We can't imitate him, right? We can follow the footsteps. Can someone explain this? Prabhupada mentions in the last line of the purport, there are so many incarnations of God without the power of the Supreme Godhead. What do you mean by this line? There's so many incarnations of God without the power of the Supreme Godhead. What does that mean? Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Amshavatara Mataji.
Yeah, so
Matsyavatara, they will be given some power of the Lord, but not the full. They will not be fully empowered.
Yes, yeah. So that's how. But what about Narasimhadev? For Narasimhadev was given more power, right? But yes, not everything would be there for the avatar. In the sense, Narasimhadev, yeah, Purna Avatar and Amsha Avatar, all that are there. But it is given here the whole, like for example, there is a powerhouse. Now there are small houses near the powerhouse. So that small house need these LED bulbs, which is like 9 volt or something. Very few electricity is needed for the house. But imagine near the powerhouse, there's a big industry. For the industries, there's a lot of machines and they need a lot of power from the powerhouse. So the powerhouse is supplying the electricity to the small houses as well as to the industries. How is it possible? So the powerhouse can regulate, or it has the ability to regulate the amount of electricity to be distributed to the houses as well as to the industries. Similarly, when Krishna take a lot of incarnations, as Mataji said, Malsya didn't need a lot of energy. Just that Satyavrata king was taking it from the pond, putting into the well to the river to the ocean. The Malsya became big, and finally the horn was tied to the boat. So not much strength is needed. But so it's like giving the power to the small house. So Malsya Avatar had less energy. But when the Lord came as Narasimhadev, he had to kill Hiranyakashipu, who's very powerful demon. So much energy, like the powerhouse gives energy to the industries. Similarly, so much power was given to Narasimhadev. So the power of the Supreme Godhead is not completely, but in Narasimhadev, what was lacking? The beauty. Everybody gets scared. But then Lord Vamanadev had beauty. He was so cute. Beauty, but then that power was not there. He was not fighting against any demon. So God can regulate. There were so many incarnations of God without the power of the Supreme Godhead. Means when Krishna came as Avatari, he could just kill demons without any weapon. Did he use any weapon? With mouth, he killed Pudana. With leg, he killed Shakatasur. With hands, he killed Trinavarta. With hands, he killed Kamsa and Keshi demon. And Krishna didn't have to use any weapons, right? Varahadev had a weapon. So the incarnations of God will be there, but then they don't have the complete power of the Supreme Godhead. He can regulate the power. Okay. Shakta karmani avidam vamsho yada kurvanti bharada kuryat vidvamsh tata saktas chikirshur loga sangraham. As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act, but without attachment, for the sake of leading people on the right path. Okay, so it is said here, ignorant people, definitely they are karma kantis. They are so attached to the fruits of the results, and what happened? There'll be rebirth again and again. But then a learned man, Prabhupada says, they act, but they are acting without attachment. Okay, like for example, 99% of people in ISKCON are grihasthas. Initially, all were living in the temple when Prabhupada was there. Everyone, even grihasthas, were in temple. But then later on, Prabhupada said, in future, ISKCON will be like so many devotees will be living outside the temple. I mean, they will be grihasthas. They are like, they're doing the karma. They have a family to take care of everything, but still they practice devotional service at home, right? So we're not attached. We are doing it for Krishna service, and we are following setting a good example for the society. Na buddhi bedam janayat ajnanam karma sangidanam joshayet sarva karmani vidwan yukta samacharan. So as not to disrupt the mind of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. Now, we can't just tell them to stop their karma. No, you can see here, these are all the karma of a Vaishya. Krishi, Goraksha, Vanijyam. No, this is what they do. They do business, trade, they do agriculture, they take care of the cow. So each Varna has each karma to be done. So we can't stop the work completely, but then we should work in such a way that gradually Krishna consciousness develop. That's what Prabhupada says here. Vedaisha sarve rahameva vedam. That is the end of all the Vedic rituals. All rituals, all performance of sacrifice, everything that is put into the Vedas, including the directions of material activities, are meant to understand Krishna. The main purpose is what? To understand Krishna. Samsiddhim haritoshanam, to please the Lord, who is the ultimate goal of life. But because the conditioned soul do not know anything beyond sense gratification, they study the Vedas to that end. But through fruitive activities and sense gratification regulated by the Vedic rituals, one is gradually elevated to Krishna consciousness. So by studying the Vedas and by doing sacrifice, definitely our aim or goal is to elevate them to Krishna consciousness. That's what ISKCON is doing, right? We just don't tell them chant only Hare Krishna. No, whatever you're doing, continue doing it, but add Krishna in your life. It's like salt. Yeah. I mean, when the salt is less, you understand. When it's more, still you recognize. But if the salt is in the correct amount, then nobody think of the salt. We always say, oh, the spice was good, the aroma was good, all that for the curry. But we never mentions about salt. But if it is less or more, then we try to. So Vaishnavas and the Lord is like that, it is said. So when we should always add them in the right amount to us. Not like Prabhupada later on mentions. So some devotees, they say, I want to give up everything and just do Krishna conscious activities, just completely involved in Krishna conscious activities. Good. But are we elevated to that consciousness? That's what we should see. Are we in that stage to really surrender to Krishna? Because once we surrender, we should not come back. No, are we really into that stage? Prabhupada really mentions, only when you are qualified, you go for it. Prakrite kriyamani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahangara vimudatma kartaham idimanyade. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, think himself the doer of the activities that are actually carried out by the three modes of material nature. Who are the three doers? We have three doers. Who are they? Is it only us who is doing everything, all the karmas and everything? Are we the real doer, or who are the doers? Who are the real doers? There are three doers. No idea? So here one is mentioned. Yeah, the modes. Yes, Jyotilakshmi Mataji. The three modes is one of the doer. Who are the other two? There are three doers. Yes, Madhu Mataji.
Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaivika.
They are the three miseries.
Okay.
That's the three miseries of our life. Like Adhyatmika, that misery is coming from the body, misery coming from other living entities, misery coming from the nature. That's the three miseries. I'm asking the three doers. Who is actually doing? Are we the real doers? Suma Mataji.
Mataji, the energy of the Lord, Mataji, external energy of the Lord, Mataji.
The Lord is there, yes. So Suma Mataji said one component, and Jyotilakshmi Mataji said one component. No. mana, buddhi, ego. These are all subtle body. This is mind, intelligence, false ego. No, the three doers are, one is the soul who desire. Like for example, I want a phone, so I desire. Right, the soul has a minute independence. So I am desiring, the soul. Then who is carrying it out? The three modes of material nature. The three modes will carry it out. But who's sanctioning it? As Soma Mataji said, Krishna, the super soul. He has to sanction. Unless he sanctions, like unless you want leave or vacation from your job, unless your boss sanction your leave, you won't get the leave. So the sanctioning, you have a desire to take a leave, but then unless the boss sanction, you won't get it. You won't get the leave. So similarly, any desires, if it has to be fulfilled, then the soul desires it. The three modes under the supervision of the Lord. The Lord, once the soul desire, the Lord sanctions it, and once he sanctions, the three modes carry it away, carry it out. Now, so if you ask that in that way, what about the negative things happening all over the world? Theft and killing, murder and rape and whatnot. So even that is sanctioned by the Lord. Yes, right? Why? Why does Lord sanction terrorism? Why does Lord sanction murder, theft? Unless the Lord sanction, nothing happens. Not even a blade of grass moves without Krishna's will. Misuse of independence, very nice, Mataji. Yes. Jyoti Lakshmi, yes, we are misusing our independence. That's true. So, can you continue? That's right. That's the beginning. Mode of nature, yes, your free will has been misused. Yes. We have a free will. Okay. It's like a cow is tied to the tree. Now, the cow can go to that circumference, that radius, till the rope is there. I mean, once it can't pull the rope and go beyond it. So we have a minute independence that is misused. Yes, that is the right answer. So we are misusing it. But then when we misuse, why is God sanctioning it? We misused. Okay, I want to do theft, but then that's my desire. I misused it. But why is Krishna sanctioning it? Soul desire. Yes, we have a free will. Soul is desiring. My question is, why is Krishna sanctioning it? He's the super soul. He's a supreme personality of Godhead, and Krishna wants everyone to be happy. But why is this happening?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. May I, Mataji? Mataji, because Krishna, because we are not using it for the right purpose, Mataji, because of the ignorance that we have. So, to know the adverse effects of that for our bad desires, so Krishna will, for some time, he will make us execute all that, Mataji, get our desired results, Mataji, for time.
Why Krishna is doing it? So that?
So for some time he will let us enjoy all that, Mataji, and later he will show the results, Mataji.
Yeah, almost right. Like for example, there is a kid in your house. The kid want to play with knife. What will you do? You won't give. You won't give because you know the kid will cut his hand with the knife. So you won't give. But just imagine that kid is so arrogant. The kid is not eating, the kid is not sleeping, he's not studying, not doing anything, not going to school. Very adamant that he want to play with the knife. 2-3 days there is niraha, in the sense satyagraha. What do you say? A lot of he's not eating and he's just lying on the bed crying. Then what will you do? He's so adamant that he want to play with the knife. Then finally, chalo, play. And then you know he is going to cut his hands, he is going to suffer, but then he will learn from the mistake, right? Similarly, Krishna will see the soul, and the soul is so adamant that he want to do the theft, he want to do terrorism or whatever desire he have. And so adamant, he's so adamant that Krishna is like, chalo, do it. And you suffer the karma. I mean, he is like the sweet father. And yeah, we have forgotten our eternal relationship with Krishna. That's the reason we are misusing the minute independence, right? But then when why Krishna is sanctioning it, this is the reason. When we are so adamant, then finally we're like, okay, get it. No, do it. Like Namanishta Prabhu was saying an example. One child was so adamant that she wanted to wear jeans to college, and they are from a Pakka Brahmin family, and they wear all traditional dress. They don't wear jeans and everything. But finally, when her uncle came from America, she went with him out for shopping, and there she compelled him and she requested him to get a jeans. So the uncle called the father and said, see, she's requesting for a jeans. Now what should I do? Then finally father is like, 100 times I told her not to get a jeans. Now again she's asking you. Chalo, buy it for her. So finally the father is like, go get it for her. No, let she do it. I mean, like that. So like like Krishna, since the soul is his son's, and he's desiring so much bad, even if it's bad, desiring so much, Krishna sanctions it so that we learn from the mistakes. We learn from the mistakes. Now that is the real reason why Krishna is sanctioning. Yes, Aarti Mataji.
Mataji, I have a doubt. Like in that child's case, when he's cutting the hand, only he is suffering. But in the terrorist example which you gave, if the God allows also, the lot of innocent people will suffer, right?
Who's innocent, Mataji? Who's innocent? Everybody is sinful in this material world. They are innocent in this life. Might be last life they did so much sin. They would have killed somebody. Why is some people dying because of others? Because they have killed them in the previous life. That's all. So it's all karma coming back.
Okay, Mataji.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely yes, it's karma. Terrorism doesn't affect pious people. It comes to those who have done. So we think they are innocent. In this life, yes, they are innocent, might be. But then previous Janma, we don't know their previous Janmas. Definitely it's karma coming in the dominoes effect. So definitely it's karma coming. So everything is, we don't feel like, because we are like, example given us, we are like, the movie started, okay, the interval got over, and we are late for the movie. So we came after the interval, and we see the hero chasing the villain, heroine crying. We don't understand, and we disturb others. What happened? And that's why we want to see the movie from beginning. Now after the interval, you don't understand anything, the second half of the movie. So we are like that. This Janma, we don't understand. We are like, but the director of the movie who's sitting behind or watching, he knows everything. He knows the climax. Like Krishna knows everything. Krishna have seen all your Janmas. So he knows why you're suffering, because of your previous Janmas, or so many Janmas you have done bad things, right? So Krishna knows that. But we are like the viewer who came to the theater in the middle of the movie and is confused. Array, what is happening? So like that, in this Janma, we're like, why all this is happening to me? Because of previous Janmas, karma. So it's very difficult to understand. So life is like that. The person in material consciousness is convinced by false ego that he is the doer of everything. False ego, we think we are the doer. What is the real ego? There is false ego, which is like thinking, oh, I am great, I'm the pride and everything comes. But what is real ego? What should be a real ego? Yes, Mataji.
To know the Sambandha, Mataji.
Yeah, the relationship with Krishna. But yeah, why? What you should be proud of? Pride is not, we are the servant of the Lord. Okay, yes. So that is the real identity of us. Gopi Bhaktur Padakamalo, Das Dasanudas, I am the servant of the Lord. That is a real ego. That I am servant of the Lord. That is a real ego. Tattva Vittu Mahabaho, Guda Karma Vibhagayo, Guda Udeshwartanta iti matvana sajjate. One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, Almighty Arm, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the difference between work in devotion and work for fruitful results. So this is all for pure devotees. When they are in real knowledge, they engage in Krishna conscious activities. They don't engage in sense gratification at all, because sense gratification will bring lot of reactions. The real identity, this is the real ego, is we are the part and parcel of the Supreme. And once we know it, we engage ourselves in the activities of Krishna consciousness and become naturally unattached to the activities of material senses, which are circumstantial and temporary, right? Once we get a higher taste, then we forget all the lower taste, right? Once we know we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, we then engage in serving Krishna. Once we know our hand is a part of the body, the hand serves the body, right? So otherwise, what is the use of the hand? If it is amputated, it have no value. Similarly, when you attach to Krishna, we have value. We are big zeros. How much of a zero you put, unless there is a one in the front, the zero doesn't have a value. So Krishna is like that one, right? So you should put him in front. Then we have real value. So that's our real constitutional position. Prakriter guna sammudha sajjante guna karmasu tan akrishna vito mandhan Krishna vinna vichalayet. Bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in the material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge. Okay, so the mode of nature is actually making us do all these things, right? The three modes are acting on us. And then we become addicted to that. Or how we are associated with the three modes, that's how our work is about. Namanishta Prabhu was saying in the Bhagavatam class, when we are in Tamogun, we don't even chant. When we are in Rajogun, we try to chant, but we chant for some material reasons. When we are in Sattvagun, we chant in a nice way. But when we are in Shuddha Sattvagun, like pure devotees, then they chant, enjoying the nectar of Harinam, right? All are chanting the same Hare Krishna mantra. From Srila Prabhupada to his disciples to new devotee, neophyte, Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama Adhikaris, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the 6 Goswamis, everyone chanted the same Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They didn't chant any different mantras. But what is the difference? The bhav, the mood with which they chant, right? We chant in Nama Aparat stage, they chant in Shuddhanam. So that's the difference. The devotees of the Lord are more kind than the Lord because they understand the purpose of the Lord. Consequently, they undertake all kind of risk, even to the point of approaching the ignorant men and try to engage them in the act of Krishna consciousness, which are absolutely necessary for the human being. So this is why it said devotees of the Lord are more kind than the Lord, because they spread Krishna consciousness. Right? Krishna didn't go and spread Krishna consciousness. But when Krishna came as a devotee, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went and preached. Right? They take all the risk. Preaching is not an easy thing, right? It looks very easy, but then once we start preaching, we know how difficult it is. How difficult it is to bring some soul from the material consciousness to Krishna consciousness, right? Very difficult, very difficult. So, but then however we try to bring them, but then Krishna is in their heart also. That Krishna should sanction it. Then they come to us. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya atmachetasa nirasir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasya vigata jvara. No claims to proprietorship and free from lethargy and fight. Therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me with full knowledge of me, without desire for profit, with no claims of proprietorship, become free from lethargy and fight. Okay, no claim of proprietorship. Like when before we were born, this property was there. After we die, this property still exists. So does the property really belong to us? We are just temporarily here. It's like given us for rent. Krishna is the supreme proprietor. He gave us this for rent. Now, once it's done, once the lease period is over, he'll take it back. No, so what are we claiming for? No, we'll see some brothers, sisters fighting for properties, and they have a lot of court cases. What are they trying to do finally? Now, it's all everything belongs to the Lord. Are we going to take this when we die? No, but then this material world is like that everyone think we are the proprietor, but then it's like going in a train. All of you would have gone. So when you have your birth, like 34, 30, whatever your birth is, especially in an AC compartment or something, you make nice arrangement for the birth and you put nice bed sheets and you decorate it and everything. But once the destination comes, your station comes, you have to get down. Otherwise the TT will throw you out. No, so mrityu sarva haraschaham. Mrityu or death will take everything from us. How much of we try to be comfortable in that train, when the time comes, we have to leave. And another person will come in that place, right? So Prabhupada says it's like that. You become so attached to the temporary conditions and we forget the real goal. And they said one has to sacrifice everything for the goodwill of the Supreme Lord and at the same time discharge prescribed duties without claiming proprietorship. Who can tell the example of a cashier? Yes, Prabhupada mentions in the purport the example of a cashier. What is that example? Anybody knows? Hare Krishna. The cashier who's counting the, yes, Adesh Prabhu. Huh?
Mataji,
Yes.
the cashier will count all the money but will not claim any money for himself.
Yeah. So similarly,
we should not claim any of the results.
Yeah, the proprietorship, right? The cashier in the bank. Yeah, cashier in the bank will have thousands of dollars going. Okay, so yes, the cashier, the example given is of the cashier. So what happens? A cashier in the bank. Okay, so a cashier will have millions of dollars or thousands of rupees going through his hands. Does it mean it all belong to him? No. From morning till evening, he'll be counting, counting, counting. So much of money. But somebody from an outsider who comes and who doesn't know about the bank, he thinks, oh, so much cash is with him. Yeah. I mean, we think that, oh, he's so rich. But does that cash really belong to him? No, it goes from his hand and it belongs to somebody else. Ishavasya sarva, everything belongs to the Lord. Yes. So he counts the money, but it's not him. Similarly, everything is given to us for temporary time, according to our karma. Based on our punya karma, you become rich, you get nice knowledge, you become beautiful, and you're born in a good family. But then that's temporary. That's temporary. Like a cashier, he doesn't own the money. So all these examples you should catch from the purports, which Srila Prabhupada have mentioned, so that it helps you in preaching and also help you to understand the concept very clearly. Prabhupada's examples are so nice. All the real life examples Prabhupada gives. Even when you hear his lectures, it's a real life example, so that everything becomes very clear. Because the cashier, now we got an idea how a cashier is. That's how the conditioned souls are. No? Ye me matam idam nityam anuchanti manava shraddhavanto anasuyanto munchante te api karmapi. Those persons who execute their duties according to my injunctions and who follow his teaching faithfully without envy become free from the bondage of fruitive activities. So we have to act according to the scriptures. Okay, according to the scriptures, you can see he is living at home, right? But then he is doing all the devotional services, activities, everything. So we can be at home and even then attain salvation. Sadrisham cheshtate swasya prakriter jnanavan api prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature, for everyone follows the nature he has acquired from the three modes. What can repression accomplish? So here it is saying that we act according to our nature. Krishna have four gunas, no? Chaturvarnyamaya srishtam guna karma vipakasha. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras. Based on the qualities and karma, Krishna made the four class of people. Without being fully in Krishna consciousness, one should not give up his occupational duty. This is what I was saying. So we should not feel like, oh, I should give all my job and everything and fully involved. Yes, you can do it. But are we into that standard? It is saying that if you're fully in Krishna consciousness, then we can do it. No one should suddenly give us a prescribed duty and become a so-called yogi or transcendentalist artificially. It is better to be situated in one's position and try to attain Krishna consciousness under the superior training. Thus, one may be freed from the clutches of Krishna's Maya. Okay, under the instruction of the supreme spiritual master, we can do our duty. Indriya Shendriya Yasrate Ragadveshe Yavastitau Tayornavasham Agachet Tau Hi Asya Paripantinau. There are principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and the objects. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. So we know about the story of Bharat Maharaj, what happened, that we should not have okay, just give me 2 minutes. So can you please contemplate on this? There is always the chance of an accident even on the royal roads for ISKCON members and society in general. What is Prabhupada meant by this? So Ganeshan Prabhu, can you just coordinate? Can you unmute the devotees and make them discuss on this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just
okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, everyone. Anyone would like to? Yes, Mataji, please. Chitra Mataji, please. Yes, go ahead, Mataji. Hare Krishna, can you hear me? Chitra Mataji? Yes, Mataji, please. Yes, am I audible? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, now I could unmute. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Thank you. Hare
yes,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
yeah. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, we all are, like a fallen souls. We tend to fall down, Prabhuji. As Mataji was just now saying, Bharat Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj. What I mean to say is, we tend to commit mistake and fall down how much ever. That is why Srila Prabhupada says that we should continue in Krishna consciousness. That is the reason. Whatever we have done in the past, maybe we have fallen down, that is okay, but we get a chance to get up and go again forward, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, yes. Yes, please unmute and one by one. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yes, Soma Mataji, please unmute yourself. After that, Manisha Mataji, please go ahead. Please unmute yourself. Hare Krishna, Suma Mataji, are you able to unmute? Are you able to hear me?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I was not able to unmute, Prabhuji. That's why. Prabhuji, wherever we are tend to make mistakes because of the position that we are in. We are not in the constitutional position where we are supposed to be. That is in the spiritual world. By our free will, we have come here and we are suffering, and still we have that tendency that is still with us. So we tend to make mistakes, even being in Krishna consciousness, even having a right mindset of dealing with the people and being conscious of our consciousness and actions, speech or any way with the people around us. That makes sense, Prabhuji. Otherwise, we tend to make mistakes. That is what Prabhupada has said. There is always chance of an accident, even on the royal road. Royal roads means even if we are placed even in the Krishna consciousness, also we have to be very alert and conscious of what we speak, how we deal with the people or members of Matajis or Prabhujis, each and everything, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. That is
Hare
my
Krishna, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes, Manishim Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji. Please unmute yourself. Are you able to unmute yourself? Manisha Mataji? Manushi Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes,
basically, it is that even when you are in Krishna consciousness, the reason that you have to keep following the regulative principles and have to be in full self-control is that you can, if you try to take advantage of what are the regulated, what are the allowed sense enjoyment, there's also a good possibility that you might fall. And therefore, in order to avoid that, that is the royal road, because Krishna consciousness is the royal road and you are traveling on that. But if you try to take advantage of what is allowed in the larger community, it's quite possible that you might overdo it and might actually go into sin. So that is the reason why this is said that you have to be careful. Whichever that you are traveling on a royal road, maybe even in a royal vehicle, which is the teachings of the Acharya, but still you have to be always very careful in order not to make the mistake of an accident, which can then take you back births and births behind in your advancement towards self-realization. Thank you, Professor.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Yes, Santosh Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Please unmute yourself, Prabhuji. Santosh Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Santosh Prabhuji. Please
Hare
go
Krishna,
ahead.
Prabhu. Dandavat pranam to all.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, in this regard, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mama Maya Duratyaya, which says fighting with Maya is almost impossible. And the only way in Shastra it is said that we need to be as humble as a blade of grass and as tolerant as a tree. And under the shelter of Guru Parampara and association of devotees, serving the Supreme Lord and the devotees of the Lord. It's the only way which will keep us safe. Otherwise, the pride and the false ego will hit us very badly, and we are tend to even face, as it said, even in a royal road, we tend to get into accident mode. So this is what I wish to say. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, thank you. Any other devotee would love to? Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada says no. Yes, Sunita Mataji, please Mataji. Unmute yourself, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sunita Mataji, please unmute yourself, Mataji. Am I audible? Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji was not able to unmute. So only this materialistic world is a dangerous place, as Prabhupada always says, Padam Padam Yad Vipadam Natesham. He used to say in his lecture always this line, that is, there is a danger everywhere. In every step, there is a danger. So that's what I mean, Prabhuji. I think.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So Maya is always ready to capture us, no? It's even when we are following sincerely the Krishna consciousness, sometimes we are always influenced by the three modes of material nature. Sometimes, as Mataji told in the classes, we are in different modes. So accordingly, we fall, and if we have to keep on pursuing ahead now, then we have to always be in Krishna consciousness. That is the only solution. Hare Krishna. This is my understanding. Any other devotee would like to share? You can please unmute yourself. And
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, everyone. So, yeah. So,
it's okay,
what
Mataji.
did you discuss?
Just each and every devotees were sharing about that, and the point is there is always a chance of an accident even on the royal roads for ISKCON members and society in general. Some of the devotees were sharing their.
Yeah. So, what is in a nutshell, what is it actually? That there will be a chance of fall down even for devotees, right? So, yes. So because we are living in the world of Maya, definitely Maya will catch everyone. Prabhupada used to pray that Krishna save me from Maya. So we should be all, Prabhupada says, even if you are so advanced devotee, we should be always careful, because we are not all in spiritual world yet, and we are not purified yet. So definitely chance of an accident or a fall down will be there on the path of bhakti, but still then Krishna says, no, Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma Shashvat Chandini Gachindi Kaudeya Prajani Name Bhakta Pranashti. So the fall down doesn't matter, but then we should get up and try to fight back or come back. So that's very important. Falling down, it's there for many devotees. We have seen that accident can happen in any way. Can be okay. So here Prabhupada mentions in the purport, unrestricted sense enjoyment is the cause of material engagement. So definitely unrestricted. So much of sense activities because of lust. Now that's what makes us getting bound. So attachment to Krishna consciousness, or acting always in the loving service of Krishna, detaches one from all kind of sensory activities. Nirbandhe Krishna sambandhe yukta vairagam uchyate. The more we get attached to Krishna, the more we get detached from this material world. Therefore, no one should try to be detached from Krishna consciousness at any stage of life. So some devotees, some people, they come to Krishna consciousness initially and then they leave. So once they leave, it's a great misfortune, Prabhupada says, but it's never lost. Definitely next life there's chance, but then better not to leave in this life itself. The whole purpose of detachment from all kind of sense attachment is ultimately become to situated on the platform of Krishna consciousness. So why are we doing all this? So that we get more and more attached to Krishna. Shreyan swadharma viguna para dharmat swa anushtita swadharme nidhanam shreya para dharmo bhayavana. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duty, even though poorly, than others' duty perfectly. Destruction in the cause of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duty, for to follow another's path is dangerous. So this is like walking in another's shoes or trying to fit in another's shoes. In the sense, a Kshatriya should act as a Kshatriya, a Brahmana should act as a Brahmana, right? If it happens the other way around, then it is said that everything is destroyed. So can someone cite the example what Vishwamitra and Parashurama, what happened to them? Prabhupada mentions in the purport about the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, and he quotes the example of Vishwamitra and Parashurama. What is it? Can someone try to tell me? Prabhupada mentions about Vishwamitra. What does he mention about Vishwamitra and his Arti Mataji?
Mataji, Vishwamitra was originally a Kshatriya, but later he acted as a Brahmana.
Yeah.
And Parashurama was a Brahmana, and later on he acted as a Kshatriya.
Oh, okay.
But Mataji, I have a doubt here. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji, I have a doubt here. Like we had also read in Bhagavad Gita, right? Like a son of a Brahmana is not a Brahmana unless he actually performs, spiritual activities or he's a devotee of Krishna.
Yes.
So a born Brahmana is not a Brahmana. Similarly, they say that even a Shudra or a lowest form can also become a Brahmana if they practice Krishna consciousness. So here, Mataji, why do they give example of Arjuna that he's a Kshatriya and that's why he should not act as a Brahmana? When they say that even a Shudra can also become a Brahmana if he's actually into Krishna. So Mataji, I didn't understand actually this point.
Yes, Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Why the example of Arjuna is cited? Because I didn't get you.
Mataji, like they say, a son of a Brahmana.
Yes.
Not necessarily that he is a Brahmana. If he doesn't follow Krishna, he's not a Brahmana. Similarly, a lowest form, a Shudra can also become a Brahmana if he actually practices Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
Like even the lowest Chandala can also become a Brahmana.
Yes.
So Mataji, here why do they say that Arjuna being a Kshatriya, his nature, okay, I understood that point, that his nature was a Kshatriya, that he was fighting. So even if he begs arms, he will get angry and he will fight. That I understood. But Mataji, I didn't understand that one should do their own duty and not do others' duty. Like a Shudra who is acting as a Brahmana, he's doing others' duty, right? Like he's
but he's undergoing the purification process. No, after the purification process, he is acting like a Brahmana. Kalau Shudra Sambhadava. Everybody in Kali Yuga is Shudras only. Because
Correct.
Brahma Janati the Brahmana. Who knows Brahman is a Brahmana. So anybody can elevate. So that's what ISKCON is trying to do. ISKCON is trying to pull everyone to become a Vaishnava, whose Vaishnava is greater than a Brahmana. So that can be done. Vice versa should not be done. Like for Shudras, because they are doing their work, as well as Brahmana's duty is what? To give Vedic knowledge to others. No, that has to be done by everyone. All the class of people can become preachers. That is for Krishna conscious activities. But in the other way around, because we need people, no, we need for Krishi, Goraksha, Vanija, we need Kshatriyas, we need Brahmanas. So Krishna says that why do you mix? If your quality, guna and karma is matching, then you can do. But just by birth, we don't become a Brahmana or something like that, right? So based on your guna, karma, the qualities which you acquired, you can be in that particular mode. In that case, it can be. But otherwise, everyone just like that following without any qualities can't become a Brahmana. That's what Krishna meant. Okay.
Okay, so like if Arjuna, if he wants to follow Krishna and do Krishna consciousness and not fight, so that they are saying it's wrong, right? Like that.
No,
is not,
Arjuna, yeah, because he's a Kshatriya, he has to do the dharma, and he's doing for Krishna. No, unless he do this, how will they all get moksha? So this is Krishna's plan that Arjuna had to fight so that Krishna can give moksha to everyone. In fact, Prabhupada mentions that Krishna has been more kind to the Kauravas than the Pandavas because he gave them all moksha.
Right, Mataji. Thank you.
Hi Krishna. So that's the example Prabhupada mentions here. Arjuna uvaja adakena prayukto ayam papam charadi purusha anichan api varshneya balat iva niyojitaha. So Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? Now sometimes we will be shocked to know that that person, our neighbor, that person did this crime. When recently it happens in many places, like young girls and boys in college, I mean, trying to kill others and whatnot. Why are they doing this? How? Because we know they are good. Everyone know, the whole family, relatives, everyone, neighborhood, they know they're so nice. But then just for some moment, some kind of these greed, lust, anger, ignorance, all this act on them. And the three modes act on them, and they're unwillingly, they're not willing to do it, but somehow they do it. And 90% of people in the jail or prison, if you go, they all repent for what they did. No, most of them, they repent. Why did I do it? Most of them, they really don't. But then this type of category of people. So Arjuna is asking, why are they doing? How are they doing it? By force. Who is making them do? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajo Guda Samudbhavaha, Mahasano Mahapapam, Viti Enam Ihavairinam. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said it's last only Arjuna, which is born of contact with material modes of passion and later transformed to wrath, and which is all devouring sinful enemy of this world. So lust is the only thing, the karma, or is that different degrees, different grades, that's what is leading us to the mode of passion and ignorance. And later on, we need more. You know, it's all because of this power, position, money. People kill and people do all kind of stealing and things like that. So Krishna says it's lust only. So controlling the lust, that is very important. So how is that lust coming? This is already explained in the second chapter. Contemplating on objects, then develop attachment, there is lust. Unsatisfied lust, there is anger, then delusion, bewilderment, loss of intelligence, and fall down. Right? This is the 8 steps of material fall down. So we should control the lust. And how is that possible? Developing Krishna consciousness. That's the only way to control the lust. So Prabhupada mentions the example, analogy, milk in being contact with tamarind, it becomes yogurt, curd. So what is the example Prabhupada mentions? Can someone say what is the analogy? All these analogies can come as your Bhakti Shastri questions. I was going through your students handbook questions. I saw so many questions like these. Prabhupada, I mean, it's been asked for short note, for closed book. So milk in contact with sour tamarind becomes yogurt. Similarly, what is Prabhupada mentioning here? Does anyone know? Yes, Ganeshan Prabhu.
Similarly, when lust is unsatisfied, it turns into wrath.
Yes, so that means if we are associated with, so milk is not sour, it is sweet. But then the moment it is associated with tamarind, it becomes sour. Similarly, when we are associated with the 3 modes, Rajogun, Tamogun, and as you said, Prabhu said, lust is there, and then later on it becomes wrath, or then the everything, the whole situation start changing. So, but then the main aim of human life is Adado Brahma Jitnyasa. What are these 2? Anybody knows? This is, what is it called? These 2 are called what? Adado Brahma Jitnyasa, Janmadhya Seyada. All these are what? Sunita Mataji?
Vedanta Sutra, Mataji.
Very nice. So you know what is Adado Brahma Jitnyasa means?
To inquire about the absolute truth, Mataji.
Very good. So that's the first Vedanta Sutra which says to inquire about absolute truth. This should be our aim of human life. And what about Janmadhya Seyada? This comes at the Bhagavatam Sloka also. Janmadhya Seyada means Krishna is the supreme source, or he is the source of everything. All creation, everything happens because of the Lord. So these are all different type of Brahma, this one Vedanta Sutras, which the commentaries of Vedanta Sutra is Srimad Bhagavatam. So we should know that. So human form of life should be used that. So the breakout room discussion is that you have to talk about these analogies. Okay, like you have the next sloka saying that the fire is covered by smoke, mirror is covered by dust, and embryo covered by womb. Now each 3 categories belongs to what? And what does it indicate? And you have to discuss more about which is better and what is the use of this. Just a small discussion. We'll have just 3 minutes time. Okay, what is the significance of telling this? What is this covering? first of all off, and who is compared to what, and next question is how is it applicable in human form of life. Just a short breakout room session. Okay. Okay, Hare Krishna. So I
Hare
hope all are back. Yes. Yes, who likes to start the discussion?
Hare Krishna Mataji. On behalf
Yes.
of our group, Aarti Mataji. Aarti
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji. Unmuted everyone. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, you can unmute, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Mataji, here basically they are discussing the 3 degrees of covering of the pure consciousness, where the smoke in the fire, if we are doing slight Krishna consciousness, that is compared to smoke in the fire, and which is just like beginning of Krishna consciousness. And the second, dust on the mirror refers to the cleansing process of the mind. But when we chant the holy names of the Lord, we can clean slowly, the dust. And the embryo covered by the womb, that is like a helpless position, which is compared to the child in the womb who is not even able to move. And it is something same like trees.
Yes, in the kind of in the trees. Now, so yes. So can other group add to it? So Prabhupada mentions about the smoke and the fire. What can the smoke be converted to? Something Prabhupada adds there, no? So the smoke in the fire is for the human consciousness, embryo and the womb, that is for the trees, and mirror and the dust, that's for the beast and birds. So yes, Madhu Mataji.
Mataji, it is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. So when we start to fire the wood, first there will be smoke, and gradually when the fire literally blows out, then the smoke will naturally disappear. So when the Krishna consciousness is profound, the lust disappears. So that can be done by cleaning the dust on the mirror. So by chanting the holy names, it is compared to the cleaning the dust in the mirror. But when we are in a helpless situation like plants, the embryo cannot move in the womb. So that helpless situation they are put forth if they have got so much of lust.
So these are all degrees of lust, and as Suma Mataji put in the chat, yes, the blaze of fire, the smoke will be when you try to blow more, then what happens? The smoke, I mean the fire. Why is it the smoke coming? Because the fire is not completely getting burned, or the wood is not completely getting burned. It's just burning inside. It's not coming out. There's so much smoke. But as you blow the smoke, so much smoke, then what happens? A blaze of fire will come. So Krishna consciousness also like that. We are all having the inside us there is Krishna consciousness, but try to make it active by chanting the holy name. So and also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says about Jedo Darpana Marjana. By the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can clean the dust in the mirror. No, so different grades of dust, grades of lust that's covering the living entities and human beings. And towards the end of the purport, Prabhupada mentioned something about the human beings. No, so Aarti Mataji said and Madhu Mataji said. So from room 2 and room 1, is somebody there in room 1 and room 2? So what is Prabhupada mentioning towards the end of the purport about the human form of life? Yes, Sunita Mataji. Something about the human form?
Hare Krishna Mataji. We are at the top, Mataji. We are at the top level, human beings, because in the human form of life, we can conquer the enemy called as lust easily.
Yes.
By cultivation of Krishna consciousness, Mataji.
Very good. Yes. So the lust can be conquered by developing Krishna conscious activities, right? Avriddham jnanam etena jnanino nitya vairina kama rupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha. So what happens? The wise living entities, pure consciousness, become covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. So everything, all these problems in the material world is all because of lust. If we're not able to control it, then there's a problem. So here Prabhupada gives an example. Now, fire is never extinguished by constant supply of fuel. What is this analogy? A fire is never extinguished. So much fuel you put, what happens? The fire grows more and more. So what is the example Prabhupada mentioned? Compares this with something. What is the comparison? Does anyone know? Yes, Sunita Mataji.
As long as we are engage our senses in the materialistic attachments, so there is no chance of fire getting extinguished, Mataji. So still we are on the platform. So we have to engage in Krishna service. That is Rishikesha Sevana.
Yes. So once we engage in Krishna service, definitely then the fire of that lust can be extinguished. Otherwise, in material world, it's more and more and more rajagun, more passion, and then the karma goes on increasing. Now, yeah, we'll come to that definition. Indriyani manobuddhir asya dishchanam uchyate eter vimohayate aisha jnanam avritya dehinam. So the senses, the mind, the intelligence are all the sitting places of lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entities and bewilders him. So we know the soul, we know the senses, then the mind, intelligence, and soul. But the senses, mind, and intelligence is a place of lust. So who is the one who has to be strengthened? The soul. So the senses, there is lust. The eyes like to see some nice movies. Ears likes to hear some Bollywood music. So many things. Tongue like to taste so many things in the restaurant. So the senses, there is lust. In the mind, we always think about lusty things, and the intelligence also. So sometimes there is a rajagun dominating. So all these three things are covered by lust. Now, who has to be strengthened? The soul. That's how chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra will help controlling the lust, because that is the real driver. Srimad Bhagavatam also says, Yasyatma buddhir kunapetri dhatuke swadhi kalatredi shubhaumad ijyati yatirtha buddhi salilena karhichit janeshu apitnyeshu sa eva gokara. Gokara means like an ass. Like what happens, a human being who identifies this body made up of the three elements with the self, who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsmen, who considers the land of birth to be worshipable, and who goes to the place of pilgrimage simply to take a bath, rather than meet men of transcendental knowledge, they are considered to be ass or a crow. Janeshu abhijnesu sa eva gokara. Gokara means like an ass or a cow. So it said that just you go to the yatra just to take bath in the holy river? No. To meet a sadhu, to hear about Krishna, right? And you're so attached to your birthland. Sometimes Prabhupada says, you're so attached to the country, but then next Janma, you may not be born in that country. You will be born in another country. So why are you so attached to the birthplace? Instead, you should be attached to Krishna, right? So just getting attached to all these material things, then we are like an ass. What does an ass do? It has a lot of grass around it, but still the washerman keeps a lot of bundles of cloths on the ass, and for just a few grass, it works hard so long the whole day, and then it just gets some few grass, right, which is available free. Tasmatvam indriyani adho niyamya bharadarshapa papmanam prajahi enam jnana vijnana nashanam. Therefore, Arjuna, best of Bharatas, in the very beginning, curb this great symbol of sin, lust, by regulating the senses. Slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. So lust is different degrees of lust is there, but then the lust has to be controlled. Lust is only the perverted reflection of the love of God, which is natural for every living entity. But if one is educated in Krishna consciousness from very beginning, then that natural love of God cannot deteriorate into lust. So from any stage of life, or from the time of understanding its urgency, one can begin regulating the senses in Krishna consciousness, devotional service of the Lord, and turn the lust into love, the highest perfectional stage of human life. Now, what is the difference between lust and love? We are talking so much about lust. What is the difference between kama and prema? That's the same thing. Lust is kama and love is prema. Now, what is the real difference? Here's Akshay Prabhu.
Madam, lust can destroy the person, ma'am.
You can call me Mataji. Yeah.
Mataji, lust can destroy a person, ma'am.
Okay.
Mataji. But love can make the people together, ma'am. All not more than.
Okay, that is.
Many like.
Okay, but then is there a real love in this material world?
I don't know, Mataji. Maybe.
No, it's with Krishna. I mean, with God, the real love is there. But in this material world, Prabhupada mentions, even if there is little bit of love in this material world, true love, it's like little bit. It's like the mother to the son, to the child. A mother, how much ever you all would have experienced, how much ever you grow, you are 50, 60 plus or anything, for your mother, you are like a small child only. How much, even if you have grandchildren, how much ever you grow, for the mother, you are always. So the love between the mother and the child, that's what Prabhupada mentions. It's just a drop of the real love that's seen in the spiritual world. So love is really in the spiritual world. Yes, Adesh Prabhu, difference between lust and love.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes.
Yeah, so I got remembered of the definition. Indriya Tripti Vancha Kama.
Yes,
Tara
very good.
Indriya Tripti Vancha Kama. Krishnera Indriya Tripti Vancha Prema.
Very good. Yes. So that's what the definition is. Okay. Krishnera Indriya Triptivanja Tarana Prem. Atmendriya Triptivanja Tarana Kam. Atmendriya. If you try to please your sense, that is Kama. Atmendriya Triptivanja. Triptivanja Indriya Tripti. Like if you want to satisfy your senses, that is Kama. Krishnendriya Triptivanja. If you want to satisfy Krishna's senses, that is Prema. Yes, even Jyoti Lakshmi Mataji definitely says engaging in devotional service, trying to please Krishna, that is love, and anything that is done for us, it's lust. So that's what Charitamrita Adilila 4.165. Atmendriya Tripti Vancha Tara Balikam, Krishnendriya Priti Vancha Tara Premanam. The desire to gratify one's own senses is kama or lust, but the desire to please the senses of Lord Krishna is prema. So that's why I told Akshay Prabhu, there's no real love, not real love in this material world. There is relative. It's lust. The real love, real relationships, and everything is existing in the spiritual world. Real. Whatever we see here is temporary. It looks real, but it's not really real. So the relationship with Krishna is the real love, because something, if it has to be real, it has to stay for long. It should be permanent. Whatever relationship or lust is there in this world is temporary. Once we leave this body, everything is gone. The person we love, everything is gone, right? Yeah. Yes. So definitely great acharyas and pure devotees have real love for the human mankind. That's why they preached Krishna consciousness. So Atmendriya Triptivancha, if you try to satisfy your senses, that is lust. But if you try to satisfy Krishna's senses, that is prem or love. Indriyani parani ahur indriyeba paramana manasastu para buddhiryo buddhe parasastute sastusha. So we could see that senses are superior to the dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind, and soul is even higher than intelligence. So this is a chariot which we saw. Okay, this body is compared to a chariot. There are senses, mind, intelligence, and soul. Soul is the highest. Okay, so what should we do? We try to strengthen the soul by devotee association, by chanting, by doing service. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than senses. Intelligence is still higher than mind, and the soul is even higher than intelligence. So once you get a higher taste, param drishtva nivartande, then the soul is very happy and satisfied. So if therefore the soul is directly engaged with the Supreme, naturally all other subordinate, namely the intelligence, mind, and senses, will be automatically engaged. Okay, so the main aim for us is to concentrate on Krishna. Evam buddhe param vidva samstabhyatma nam atmana jahi shastram mahabaho kama rupam dura susadam. Thus, knowing oneself to be the transcendental to the material senses, mind, and intelligence, O mighty Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, that is Krishna consciousness, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So all of us have lust in different grades, but how do we conquer it? By Krishna consciousness. Simple. You don't have to artificially try to control the kama or the lust. Naturally, it will get controlled by chanting the holy name. Once your tongue is engaged in chanting the holy name, taking Krishna Prasad, your ear is involved in hearing about Krishna Katha, your eyes are involved in seeing the beautiful form of Krishna, your hands are involved in doing service to Krishna. Every part of your Samayamana Krishna Padaravandiyo, then, or when all your senses are involved in Krishna, your mind will automatically go to Krishna somehow, right? And then your intelligence, you are having a lot of spiritual knowledge, studying Shastras, then your intelligence will become strong. Then why you are doing all this? So that your soul becomes strong, and then we can conquer lust. So basically this chapter is about karma yoga. Krishna starts with karma, how the law of karma works and everything. And finally he comes to say that how to get out of this karma cycle by strengthening your spiritual strength. So one may not give up work and prescribed duties all of a sudden, but with gradual developing Krishna consciousness, one can be situated in the transcendental position without being influenced by the material senses and mind. By steady intelligence directed towards one's pure identity, this is the sum total of the chapter. That slowly we should try to cultivate Krishna consciousness, and doing our work along with that, trying to satisfy Krishna, and then Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu, everything should be for Krishna. If we do that, we are not entangled. Okay, now the last session is about, not session, just 2 minutes. I'll tell a story. Okay, I want a participation from everyone. Okay, I'll unmute everyone and listen to the story carefully. Just 5 minutes, we are done. You should say, whom does the karma go to? Okay, there's one story. You would have heard it. Now, there was a king and he was very charitable. So he gives a lot of charity. So one day he was giving milk as charity. Okay, milk, so much of milk. He had a big goshala, so much of milk was there. So he was giving buckets and buckets of milk. So it was like an open bucket. I mean, he didn't cover and all. So he was just giving. The minister gives and he was giving to the brahmanas. So the king was giving charity. And there was a brahmana who came with a big pot, and king was pouring the milk to the brahmana's pot. At that time, when king was pouring milk to the brahmana's pot, the right time, there was a vulture who was flying above the scene, and it had a snake in its mouth. The vultures, they catch the snake like an eagle. So it was catching a snake, and the snake, because it's about to die, it was a poisonous snake. A drop of poison fell into the pot of the brahmana. Okay, king was giving charity, brahmana was accepting it, the vulture was flying above it, and vulture's beak had a snake, and the snake dropped a poison on the pot of the brahmana. Okay, now the brahmana died. King gave charity, king gave the milk. Now the vulture was carrying the snake dropped the poison, and the brahmana died. Okay, and now after this, what happened? Everyone was shocked, but others, nothing else happened to others. But then everyone was like, how did that particular brahmana die? Everybody had milk on that day, and how did that particular brahmana die? So everyone were like having different opinions. Some were blaming the king, some were blaming the snake, some blamed the vulture. Okay, then there was a lady who was selling some vegetables there. So someone came from the other country, some other state, and asked, where is the palace of the king? So the lady was pointing out to the palace, saying that, oh, the king who killed the brahmana, that palace is there. So she told the way to the people. So they went. Now, in the whole story is over. Now, in the whole story, the karma of killing the brahmana, I mean, the whatever karma is there, will go to whom? Yeah, can each one of you say, Ganeshan Prabhu? What's your answer? Just don't think, just say.
Brahmana.
Okay, Aarti Mataji.
Mataji, maybe the lady, because she just...
Okay, no, I don't want any explanations. Just hold it. Adish Prabhu. What's your answer? Suma Mataji?
Mataji, the king.
King, okay. Suma Mataji?
All of them, Mataji, to all of them.
Oh, no, you can't say like that. You have to say one. The karma goes to only one person. Not okay, let it be all of them. Okay, fine. Then Biju Prabhu says Brahmana, Sunita Mataji lady, Chitra Mataji lady. Akshay Prabhu, whom does the karma go?
Vulture, Mataji. Vulture.
Vulture, very nice answer. I liked it. Okay, Chinnaswamy Ganeshan Prabhu. Gayatri Mataji. Snake, very good. Ganeshri Mataji. Ganeshri Mataji says what?
No,
okay.
Me, Gayatri Mataji.
Oh, Gayatri Mataji. Lady. Okay, good. Okay, let's see. Jyoti Lakshmi Mataji.
King Mataji.
King, okay. Madhu Mataji. Gunakshi Mataji.
Lady Mataji.
King Mataji.
Gunakshi Mataji thinks that king. Madhu, what did you say? Madhu Mataji?
Lady Mataji.
Okay, lady. Manushi Mataji. Madhuri. Penaja Mataji.
Mataji, it's the king.
King, okay. Penaja Mataji.
Lady Mataji.
Ladies. Sunita Mataji said. Sumana Mataji. All of you said. Smita
King
Mataji.
Mataji.
King. Okay. Now, some will be shocked. Almost all answered. Did everyone answer, or you can put in the chat? Okay. Most of our 50% of the class thinks the king. What did the king do? The king was giving charity, and accidentally the vulture came and the snake dropped the poison. But what did the king do? He was giving charity, no, to everyone. Did the king purposely add poison? So that means unknowingly you do something and the karma comes to you. Really? Okay, fine. What did the vulture do? There's no karma for animals, by the way. All of you who said the vulture and the snake, there's no karma for animals. A lion kills a deer. Is that karma? No. Jiva jivasya jivanam. They are supposed to live like that. Garuda is Vishnu's carrier. Garuda is in a form of a eagle. I mean, in that form. So what is his food? Fish. So does Garuda, being the devotee of the Lord, eating fish being a sin? No. For animals, there's no sin incurred. So how does the sin come to the snake and the vulture? And after all, the snake is dying because it's in the hands, the beak of the vulture. So out of death, out of that anxiety, it dropped a poison. And where did it drop? How did it know? Did it purposely drop in the milk? No. And vulture, it was carrying its food. Mahaprasadi Govinda, it was carrying its food. King was instrument in Brahmana's death, whatever it is, but does the karma goes to him? Okay, now who are the one who said the lady? You can raise your digital hands. So many have told about the lady. Why? Why did you say the lady, Sunita Mataji?
Because she was spreading the gossip, Mataji, without knowing anything.
So that means even that has karma, right?
But she incurred sin, Mataji.
Yeah. So that's the answer. Actually, the sin went to the lady. She didn't know anything. She was just saying that, oh, the king who killed the Brahmana. And then she got the karma. So actually, Yamaraj and Chitragupta and all were confused. Till that, they were confused. Whom to give the karma? Should we give to the king? But what did the king do? He was giving charity. He didn't even know the poison got mixed. Otherwise, right? And the Brahmana, definitely it won't go to the Brahmana. He was very innocent and he just came for charity. And the snake, it was just out of its death. He saw death in front and then he was just dropping a poison. And the vulture, it was carrying its food. And anyway, no karma for the animals. And then they were thinking whom to give the karma. Then suddenly they saw the lady was gossiping that the king did it. Actually, the king didn't do, right? But then she said, and the karma went back to her. And so this is what it said. If somebody didn't do anything and you talk about them, that, oh, this person did this. Like the king actually didn't do anything. But then the lady said, oh, the king did it. So 100% of karma went to the lady. If the king have already planned to kill the Brahmana and means he have done the sin and the lady spoke about it, 50% of karma will go to the lady. So we should be very careful. Gossips also have karma coming. Sometimes we think there's no karma, or we can gossip. No, but then even that has karma. So we should be very, very careful. In Kali Yuga, in the mind, if you think something bad, it seems it doesn't have any karma. But when you talk, words and activities or deeds have karma coming. It's a nice story. I liked it. So then I was shocked to know the lady got the karma. But then this is how things are sometimes. We don't even know how karma is coming to us, but somehow we get involved. What to do? Okay, so you're done with the chapter. Any questions? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So please fill your assignment soon. Okay. So yes, Suma Mataji, what's the question?
Hare Krishna Mataji. In the beginning, we no Mataji, whatever karma we do intentionally or unintentionally, that will have a result. So how in that case, Mataji, how will the king be saved in this?
Yes, so actually the king was supposed to get the karma, but then the lady took it over, no? Since the lady came and she told so much about the king, the karma directly went to her. Of that particular scene, it went. Yes, intentionally and unintentionally, if you do, there is karma coming. If there is nobody else to take the reaction, if there is nobody else, if only you are involved in the karma, definitely the reaction comes to you. But in this case, there are so many involved. The lady finally took up the karma, right? So that's what happened. Okay, so yeah, what is this? Gayatri Mantra. What is the saying in Kannada? I don't know. It's a nice thing. Madhidvara
Yes,
Papa.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji, there is a saying in Kannada. Madidavara Papa, Adidavara Bayali.
Oh, like whatever they have done, whoever says it gets the karma. Yeah, that's true. So that's why we should be very careful, right? Till now we didn't know much about karma, but then it comes. Yes, Aarti Mataji.
Mataji, I have a doubt regarding that 3 degrees of lust. In that, Mataji, why are they writing the covered mirror is compared to birds and beasts? When they also mention the best process of chanting the holy name of the Lord, which is like the cleansing process of the mirror of the mind. So
Yeah,
I
that is
didn't
for
understand
human
those
beings.
3 degree. Is
No,
it like each degree for some particular living being? I didn't understand
Yes,
that.
yes. Actually, the fire and the smoke is for human beings. The mirror and the dust is compared to the birds and beasts, and for the embryo is the trees. That's how the lust is covered in each degree of living entities. But when it comes to human beings, again, there are different degrees of lust in human beings itself, based on your consciousness level. Like Annamaya, Pranamaya, Jivamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. Different consciousness are this one lust degree of covering is also different. But here in the purport, Prabhupada mentions about different living entities also having it. But in human form, it's very easy, to to overcome the lust. But in animal form and birds form, it is very difficult to overcome.
Yes, Mataji. So only that chanting thing they are writing in the like mirror of the mind that they are mentioning in the covered mirror, right? So that's why I was confused because chanting birds and bees don't chant.
Yeah, chanting also it's compared to that. Like it is also compared like that. Cheto Darpana Marjana. Yes. That comparison also there in the mirror. Okay.
Okay, Mataji.
Yes, Ganeshan Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mata, you just need to remind about slokas. That's why I raised. Regarding the important slokas, you told me to remind you.
Yeah, remind me in the WhatsApp group. We'll post in the WhatsApp group important slokas. Okay, so all of you start studying 1.1,
Okay.
2.7, 2.13.
Okay, already initially.
It's shared.
Yeah, you already posted it, Mataji. I have.
Oh.
Yeah, I already shared it twice
then
in
fine.
the group.
Yeah,
if
then
required,
it's okay.
You told me to share it.
Yeah, if anybody devotees want it, then please collect from Ganeshan Prabhu, or we can post it again, Prabhu, so that they can study. They can.
Yeah, sure.
Sloka memorization is nothing but it will be a Zoom session. So we'll meet in Zoom. Then we'll go to the breakout room. Each one of you can come, or you can come in the Zoom session, and you can might be all of you are there. Whichever sloka you can unmute and then chant the sloka. Say the translation without seeing, and we'll just see the fluency of your sloka memorization. That's it. So there are like so much 12 slokas from module 1, no, Prabhu? I think so. 12 in 6 chapters. There are 12 slokas to be memorized. So start memorizing so that you can pass that sloka memorization. And the open book assessment we will close by next Thursday. That's like 10th. We can close. We can give you some more days. So try to write legibly and briefly so that it can be assessed. Okay.
Okay, Mataji. Actually, the print the PDF which you sent to me, 1.1 also has to be included, no? It starts from 2.7,
yes,
no?
1.1.
Dharmakshetre, Dhritarashtra Vacha, from that onwards, no?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
then it is 13 slokas, Mataji.
Okay, 13. Okay.
Fine. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, try to memorize. Then open book assessment. After 2 chapters, I kept 1 open book. Then after 4th chapter, again, we'll keep 1 open book. And after 6 chapters, we'll keep closed book. Closed will be like short questions, 10 questions, 8 has to be taken. For open book, you can write 2 pages. I think 2.5 page will be good. Okay.
Okay.
Legibly, you can write. And there are 2 parts of the question, no? One is about Arjuna's thing, and the next one is about how you personally apply in your life, Krishna conscious life. So both has to be mentioned. Okay. Sloka exam will be after the 6 chapters, Aarti Mataji. After the 6 chapters, I will keep 1 closed book exam along with that sloka memorization. Okay, so you have still time. We are only in 3rd chapter. We finished. We have 3 more chapters to go. So definitely it will take some time. But then I'm reminding you now because last moment, what people do, last moment they'll keep the slokas and it's not easy to memorize. So now itself start. Now itself, if you start, it's going to be easy for you. So sloka memorization is going to be easy. Okay, so please read Prabhupada's books, the purport, everything is there in the purport. We're not taking anything extra here. It's just we're discussing through the purports, and devotees sometimes feel difficult to read Prabhupada's book. So in Bhakti Shastri, we are actually make you read Prabhupada's book. So open book assessment is also for that. So Mayapur Institute says that 60% of your marks, exam pass mark, will be because of open book. Okay. So are we done? Or we can just stop now if no more questions. Okay, no question in the chat. Yeah, I hope you're filling your attendance form, and sadhana chart also, please fill it, because Ramanishta Prabhu can ask
Hare
anytime.
Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Today's attendance form was not, link was not posted.
Yeah, Gunashri Mataji posted at 8 o'clock. I saw. You didn't get? She posted at long back. She posted. I think you didn't see. Prabhu, you didn't fill? This one.
She posted.
Yeah.
Did she posted?
Yeah, I'm reposting it, but she posted long back. See, I can see in the chat. Or.
Okay.
Yeah, might be you missed it. Yeah, she posted. Okay, you can fill it now. So, yeah, sadhana form also, please fill. Open book assessment will take 60% of your mark. Closed book 20%. Then sloka memorization 10. So it's like 60, 80, 90. Then next 10% is for 5% is for sadhana chart, and 5 for attendance in the temple program and everything. And activities in the class. I mean, how active you are in the class. Some devotees are not joining the breakout room. Might be you're traveling or something like that. Then it's okay. You have a genuine reason. Otherwise, please participate in the breakout room. It's very lively, and you can contribute. You know, it's like closed rooms. I make like 4 rooms now, so that only 4 or 5 devotees are there in each room, and you can discuss. If you're not comfortable, please let me know. Okay. So we finished 3 chapters. Now we'll start with 4th chapter next week. Okay, so I think we are done. So tomorrow you have to break your fast between 6:30, around 6:30 to 10 o'clock. So please break the fast at the right time. And it's the last 5 days of Kartik month. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I think we can end here, no, Ganeshan Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, I have done it. We can end here, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Vanchakalpadaro Padidhanam Pavani Vaishnavi Panamanam Kodi Vaishnavi Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.